Hi, I'm volcanologist Dr. Janine Krippner, and this is my guest.
Hi, I'm Lori Pigue. I'm a PhD student in Astronomy and Planetary Science at Northern Arizona University, and I also work at the USGS Astrogeology Science Center as a research assistant.
And that is so cool. And you work on volcanoes on the moon, right?
That's right. So some people know, some people don't know, there are volcanoes on the moon. Some of them are kind of like the volcanoes we have here on Earth, but for the most part, they're pretty different. And I think that's kind of a cool thing. I started out as a terrestrial geologist, someone who studies the geology of Earth. And when I found out that there's plenty of opportunities studying geology in space, I thought that's a really cool thing to do. So I signed up.
That is so cool. So what kind of volcanoes do we have on the moon, and how are they different or similar to Earth volcanoes?
So some of volcanoes and some of the volcanic features are kind of similar. There are lava flows on the moon. Some of them are huge. We call them mare. Mare is a Latin word that means seas because in the early days of studying the moon, they used telescopes, and when they looked up at the moon, they looked like these giant oceans. Mare means sea because they thought they were these giant oceans. It turns out they're not oceans. They're large basaltic lava flows. And that's a kind of rock that we have here on Earth. There are lava channels, we call them rills, and there are explosive volcanoes. Just like some of the big explosive volcanoes we have on Earth, there are explosive volcanoes on the moon too, but they look a little bit different because the moon has less gravity. The moon doesn't have an atmosphere. You know, we breathe the atmosphere. The moon doesn't have that. The explosive eruptions travel farther, and they disperse their material a little bit differently than we see on Earth. And so that's one of the things that I study is how do these volcanoes disperse their materials.
That is so cool. Thank you so much for joining me for this Twitter moment.